Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video, we are going to be going over the deck that got me first day infinite in the Black Order season, and it highlights the newest card into the game, Black Swan, and boy is she unbelievable. And obviously, being a part of the Black Order, I had to throw her into a Thanos list, and I had just an incredible time grinding with this deck. It was an easy climb for me to infinite this season, and I'm hoping this deck is going to help you climb up really fast, steal cubes. Right now, the deck is winning at a 72.7% win percentage, which is absolutely incredible, and I don't have really many negative things to say about this deck at this point, except the fact that I think Black Swan is probably going to get nerfed. But that being said, let us get into the breakdown of the Swanton Blob deck. And as it is the case in most of my deck guide videos, we're going to break down this deck into the two categories, which are the must-haves and the flex cards. And we will first get into the must-haves. And first off, we have Psylocke in this list. And Psylocke is very strong right now in the Thanos-based list because she works well ramping up into the higher energy cards that you're going to be storing a ton of in this list. You can combo her well on turn 3 with your Time Stone and get up to 6 mana for your turn 4, or you could just throw her off on any of the other turns and you're still going to find that she's going to provide value for you a lot of the times, and even if that's just using her for a trigger for Lockjaw. And speaking of Lockjaw, he is obviously a must-have in this deck because of the fact he can get you quick access to many of your high energy cards. He obviously works extremely well with the Infinity Stones, and paired with everything in this list, I don't really see a point in playing any Thanos-based list right now and not including Lockjaw. And we're playing Kyera in this list simply for the fact because Kyera is generally an S tier card because she prevents so many types of cards from being destroyed, and obviously in a Thanos-based list, especially with the Lockjaw variations, we're going to have a ton of 1-drops in our Infinity Stones and a ton of 6 energy costs. So Kyera is a must-have because she is just going to protect and provide you such a safety net. And Black Swan is a must-have, obviously. She's the newest Season Pass card into the game. She was bugged when she first came out being a 2-3, and when she was a 2-3, she was unbelievably broken even compared to what she is as a 3-5, and she just is crazy with the Infinity Stones. You can strategically plan ahead in so many variations, like getting her out early on turn 3 to do a Lockjaw combination for free, doing her later in the game so you can just get rid of your hand and draw cards with your Infinity Stone draw cycle. She's crazy good, and worst case scenario, she's in your deck and she's going to be 5 power for your blob at 3 energy. Pretty good card. And honestly, Shang-Chi is probably the lowest tier of the must-haves I would have in this deck. He's obviously very strong in this meta right now. There's a ton of cards out there that have a ton of power, and he is going to find something to destroy no matter what, so it's hard to argue against him. It stinks when he gets pulled out by your Lockjaw, so that's why he doesn't have as high a tier, in my opinion, on this must-have list. But if you wanted to flex in maybe Shadow King, he could be a good replacement for Shang-Chi as well, but overall, there's so much high-powered stuff. Shang-Chi is really good right now. And Blob is an auto-include in any Thanos list you're playing right now. Obviously, your deck lists are going to get huge, so there's always going to be cards in your deck. And he's so much better now with Lockjaw as well when he got nerfed to his 15 max power added from the infinite amount, eating your entire deck. And he now saves a lot of cards, so you don't screw yourself over if you get him early in the game on a Lockjaw pull. I can't say anything bad about Blob right now. Just watch out for Shadow King, but even then, as long as you've played your hand appropriately, you're probably going to win the game anyways. And we have She-Hulk as a must-have in this list just because she's another 6 cost card, so she's going to follow under the protection of Kyera, and there is going to be times when you get bad draws and it's going to be feeling a little more clunky, and that's when you draw She-Hulk and you get a reduced price and you're going to get her out earlier, and then all of a sudden your Scar is going to be reduced. and things are going to start flowing better for you. So She-Hulk is a solid 6 energy cost in this greedy list. And obviously the one huge key that we've been talking about throughout all these must-haves is Thanos and his Infinity Stones. This deck list probably doesn't exist without him. This is his own archetype. He's a must-have because of the fact he creates all these Infinity Stones that makes your deck bigger to make your blob better. They work extremely well with Black Swan. Kyra doesn't let them get destroyed. Just Thanos is an S tier card right now, and he works so well with so many cards in this list. And Scar, the last season pass card, is unbelievable in this deck list as well. The fact that he gets reduction for 10 power cards works so well with the list because of the fact that you're going to be ramping stuff out very quickly with your Lockjaw and your Time Stone and your Psylocke. So chances are, in most cases, your worst case playing Scar for 4 energy, and even that doesn't feel bad at all. And a lot of the cases you're going to be playing him for 2 energy or even for free. So he is so good in the list, you're going to want to have him in there. And our final must-have is Magneto. The 612 stat line is a premium, and honestly, he's pretty underrated in the entire game of how strong he is. I can't tell you how many times I won games just because people are not expecting the move aspect that Magneto is going to do, pulling the 3 and 4 drops to his location. He's very underrated in that aspect, and he works really well on turn 6, and he is a good cheat card if you're going to Psylocke and Time Stone. He can really impact your opponent's board significantly, filling up a lane they weren't expecting early and just steal you cubes. So I know that is a pretty hefty list of the must-haves, and I think there's a lot of flex opportunities, so you can really flex in a lot of your 6 energy cards. If you don't have all these cards, I understand that there's a lot of them that are pool 5 and really expensive, but that being said, we're going to move on to what I have as my flex cards in this list. And starting off, I have the Ramp Classic Wave. She's pretty solid in this list just because she's another way to get out your bigger 6 energy cards faster. And I think she worked pretty well for me a lot of the time, but there is a ton of the time where she just shot me in the foot by allowing my opponent to also get stuff out earlier that I couldn't really anticipate and play around a lot because this deck can be slower. So that's why I don't have her in my main deck list right now, but she is a valid option to ramp up quickly. And Leech is going to be one of those cards that is going to be around forever in the game. Everybody hates him, but in this list, obviously, he could be extremely strong because he can impact what your opponent is going to do on turn 6 very negatively. You have a chance to ramp him out earlier if you want. He's not a bad hit if he gets lockjawed out. It can scare your opponent right into a retreat, honestly. But I wasn't finding him as strong as I could, and that's why I opted to play more Vision in my run than rather play Leech. But he is an option. I know a lot of people have him, so be prepared to see Leech, but he may not be as strong. I haven't seen a ton of the newest card, Super Giant, yet, but she could be preventing more Leech gameplay from coming out, but I would lean towards not having Leech in your list right now just in case she starts to take over the meta. And I think you'll find that Vision is a stronger, more consistent 5 cost in this list. And as I was saying, Vision is the better 5 energy option in my opinion in this list. He's extremely flexible, and if it comes to him being pulled out by Lockjaw, you can move him around. It makes your opponent think even more and can cause a lot of confusion, and it can win you locations that you probably didn't deserve to win. So I really enjoy playing Vision right now. He's a good mind game card, and he's just very strong in general in most Lockjaw based lists, and I think you'll probably find more success playing Vision over Leech at this point, but he is a flex option if you don't see him being consistent for you. And finally, my last flex card is Giganto, and I have him in this list for a few reasons. I think he's extremely valuable in terms of his power total is not something you see a ton. It's a premium stat line, and he works extremely well if he's stuck in your deck to feed your blob. He's great if he's pulled out by Lockjaw, and I think it's underrated in playing him in the left lane. And I think if you're strategic enough with this deck and you know you are playing a Giganto in your list and you're lining up and making sure you're not playing Lockjaw in the left lane, you are going to find that you're going to win a lot of games because of Giganto. And he has a ton of power that people are not going to be able to compete with. So guys, that is the overall deck, our must-haves and our flex in this Swanton Blob list. I think this deck is incredible at this point in the meta. It was winning at 72.7% win percentage for me. Crazy, crazy numbers. I go out there, win some games, steal some cubes. Let me know how it's working for you. And at this point in the video, I want to remind everybody to please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. I have over 90% of the people who are watching this channel are not subscribed. If you could hit that subscribe button, it really would help me out. But we're going to move on to some gameplay, and we're going to go through some of my thought process and breakdown. And first off, we got Sam Olive here. And you always like to see Lockjaw in your starting hand. Not going to lie about that. And the Tinkerer's Workshop, unfortunately, is not a great turn for us, so we're not going to be able to do anything on turn 1 here. Skip to turn 2. And turn 7 is not bad or good for us, really, so it is a potential target for the Reality Stone for us, depending on what his deck list is going to be. And Fisk Tower is another relatively non-impactful location for us. We just obviously don't want to move our vision there or anything we move with the Space Stone. I think here I am going to set up my Lockjaw, and because I have Giganto in hand, I know I'm not going to want to play my Lockjaw in the left lane, so I'm going to play Lockjaw right here. And he's also playing Lockjaw. It's probably maybe a beta race build-based list. And Dronkaira is very good for us. I'm going to play her left. I'm going to play the Space Stone on our Fist Tower location, and probably going to snap here. And unsurprising, the Black Knight Gladiator list comes out, and he rolls into a blob, which is not great for us, but we roll into our Shang-Chi, so that deals with that. That's a pretty lucky roll right there, but we will take those when we get those. And now it's turn 5. We're probably going to end up just playing Vision here for the value and play a turn 7 this game, because our hand is kind of clunky. We didn't draw very many stones, so I'm just going to go ahead and play Vision in the middle lane here to try to keep priority. And he's going to Gladiator out of She-Hulk this time, and he's not going to get lucky. This is probably going to start being a daunting task for him to try to keep up with me. And I'm tempted to end the game now that we have this pull. And I do think I am actually going to Reality Stone the center location here. Vision does lose 4 power though.
Yeah, I think this is the play. By moving Vision left, throwing Scar down middle, Reality Stoning the middle, ending the game right now, and we're gonna also Soul Stone left. He hasn't discarded anything major yet, so this should be the ball game. And he's gonna play in the right lane, which is unlikely to produce enough power for him to do anything. Yeah, he moves that Carriera over, which, okay, that's it. And that's a victory right there. And next up we have Bulb and a Reality Stone, Power Stone. Carriera is not a terrible opening hand, and Negative Zone is not really an impactful location for us in this list. We're gonna pass with this hand. Let's see what we draw here. Sacred Timeline is just a non-impactful location as well. If I really want to, I could fill it up, but my hand is not anything that I really particularly care about getting out there. So I'm gonna end up just throwing Power Stone down in the middle lane right now. He is playing potentially Bounceless or potentially Beta Ray. And on this turn, we still don't have anything great, so we're just gonna end up throwing Carriera down in the middle lane here. Set up a Psylocke next turn so we can get 2/6 drops played potentially if we don't draw anything. Not a great hand here. So we're gonna Psylocke into a Reality Stone. And I suppose I'll play Soulstone middle here just to be energy efficient. I'm not really worried about loading up the middle location because I'm going to just be playing 2/6 cost at this rate, I would guess. And we kind of want to try to keep priority if we can. He's bishoping into Falcon. No, Luke Cage. That's pretty good against our Soulstone. It is what it is at this point. Not much we can do about it, but we're going to go ahead and throw our Blob down into the right lane here because there's a chance that we draw Giganto, and I'd rather have the ability to play Giganto left and win, so I don't want to potentially clog up the left lane here. It's unlikely that I'm going to play Scar next turn, as long as I am drawing a 6-drop here. We should be fine to play something else. He goes Absorbing Man. And what did Blob eat up for us? She-Hulk, Mind Stone, and Black Swan. So there's Black Swan value even if you don't draw her like I was talking about in the video. She's still 5 power to your Blob, which is pretty significant. I'm not really particularly worried about him winning. So the question is if I'm going to be playing Scar and the Time Stone or just Giganto. And I think the play is probably just Giganto, because that is going to equal more total power for me in the left lane, and he's going to get a boost to 17 power. It's unlikely he's going to be able to produce more than a 14 power. It's probably about 50-50 that if I win this game. He goes Hitmonkey into a Bass, and that's not going to be enough power, so that's going to be a victory for us again. And that's another unexpected amount of power going down into the left lane, which is why Giganto is so good in this deck. And finally here we have Beat. And Elysium is quite the good location for us because we love having cost reduction in this deck. He's not playing a Thanos list. So we are going to pass here. Oh my god, Lockjaw. Oh, TVA though. What a game we have about to be going on. We're gonna Lockjaw middle here. Or to Power Stone. I'm not gonna snap back. Just I'd like to see what the Power Stone falls first before I commit to it. And we're going to pull out a Soul Stone, which is not a good pull. He's gonna Quinjet Collector. Okay. I see. And we're just gonna Psylocke middle here and see what we can get. If we pull something huge here, we're in good shape. And that is terrible for us. But he morphs into the worst thing. And we Reality Stoned the turn for ending the game away. So that's pretty good, honestly. Turn out for us right there. Now we're gonna be able to go ahead and get down. We're gonna get down Vision into a Time Stone, and I'm even gonna hide this Power Stone right here. And honestly, this makes me confident enough to snap. This guy loves just morphing into my Shang-Chi. I would be a little upset if I was him as well. And I'd really like to draw Kyra before I blob, so I think... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play Blob hidden in the Dark Dimension into the Mind Stone. That's actually probably not the best course of action because I lose priority here, which is very well possible. He's going to just Goliath and win the game. So instead I am going to Blob into the left lane here and just throw the Mind Stone for the 2 draw. And Blob ate up a lot of my deck. So I know over here if he's going to have a potential Shang-Chi from his own list or that he Loki'd and stole, he's going to kill the Blob and win there. There's nothing I can do to win the left lane, so I'm just going to play strategically around that. And we're going to go ahead and play She-Hulk in the right lane as well. So if he puts 14 power into the left lane, he's going to have 24, and so that's not going to be enough. Shang-Chi won't be enough, so I'm going to play that there, and I'll Psylocke as well. And a Magneto into a Vision is not going to be enough, and that is another victory, and that is a big cube stealing game right there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hoping my gameplay breakdown helped you understand the deck a little bit more and the little niche nuances you're going to have in it with cards like Giganto in the list and Vision. I'm planning to have quite a few more deck lists coming out in the coming weeks, so make sure you're paying attention to your home feed, and I will see ya on the next one.